Okay, let's unpack this because normally when you're looking for advice on how to build better habits, you turn to, I don't know, dense self-help books or Okay, let's unpack this because normally when you're looking for advice on how to build better habits, you turn to, I don't know, dense self-help books or long lectures.
Right, right.
But today's source material for our deep dive is actually surprisingly simple. It is literally just a beginner English listening script.
Yeah, a dialogue between a husband and wife, Ollie and Sarah, just talking through their daily routine, which sounds basic, but
It really does.
looking closely at
Okay, let's unpack this because normally when you're looking for advice on how to build better habits, you turn to, I don't know, dense self-help books or long lectures.
Right, right.
But today's source material for our deep dive is actually surprisingly simple. It is literally just a beginner English listening script.
Yeah, a dialogue between a husband and wife, Ollie and Sarah, just talking through their daily routine, which sounds basic,
It really does.
looking closely at their conversation, it reveals some incredibly practical strategies for language learners. Or, honestly, anyone trying to build a consistent routine without, burning out.
And that is our mission today. We're going to pull out the practical tips hidden in their schedule so you can apply them to your own goals. So the first big hurdle they tackle is the morning start,
Oh, the dreaded 6:30 a.m. wake up.
right? Ollie is sleepy, which, I mean, is totally relatable. But Sarah doesn't just nag him to get out of bed. She gently reminds him of his own goal to improve his routine.
Yeah, and that shift from external pressure to internal motivation is huge. He wants to study English for an hour at 6445 because, in his own words, his mind is fresh in the morning.
It makes me think of Sarah as like a gym spotter.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, because she makes the morning tea and provides that gentle accountability. But Ollie still have to lift the weights. He has to do the actual studying. She just provides the safety net.
What's fascinating here is the psychology of it. He is choosing to do the hardest cognitive work early, right? Before the mental wear and tear of the day sets in.
So she's basically the enabler protecting that crucial morning window.
Exactly, when he has the most energy.
Okay, we've all had that morning burst of motivation. But the real test of a habit is how you handle the inevitable afternoon crash.
The 2:30 p.m. slump.
Yes, Ollie hits a wall after lunch, tells Sarah he's tired, and her response caught me off guard. Wait, isn't a midday nap a sign of weakness in a strict productivity routine? Like, doesn't that break the learning flow?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, pushing through is often exactly what leads to quitting altogether. Sarah acts more like a pacing coach here.
A pacing coach. Interesting.
Yeah, she agrees he needs rest, but sets a clear boundary. She says don't sleep too long. So Ollie commits to a 30-minute nap.
Ah, so the boundary is what keeps it productive.
Exactly. Keeping the rest to just 30 minutes gives him a mental reset without letting him fall into a deep sleep. He avoids waking up with that groggy, heavy feeling.
Right, that awful sleep inertia.
Yeah, but he still recovers enough energy to keep going because consistency relies on that recovery just as much as the effort.
And we really see that recovery payoff.
Mm.
He wakes up rejuvenated. Then, by 5:00 p.m. during an evening walk, Sarah casually drops this brilliant micro habit.
Oh, the walking tip.
Yes. She suggests we think in English while walking.
Which is so smart. It pairs a low effort physical activity with mental review.
Right.
It reinforces the morning's intense study session, but it doesn't feel like formal work?
It really doesn't. And by 10:20 p.m., Ollie reflects on everything, the studying, the resting, the exercise. And he tells Sarah, we are a team.
Such a great moment.
It really is. And to me, That is the big takeaway here. To maintain consistency, you need to design your own, Sarah.
Absolutely. And that support system, I mean, it could be a partner, sure, but it could also be an online study community or even just strategic alarms on your phone to pace your day.
Right. Whatever works for you.
It's just about building an environment that spots you when the weight gets heavy.
You just need the right pacing and the right support. And it leaves me thinking about Sarah's advice to think in English on a stroll. What other mindless, routine physical tasks in your own life could you secretly hijack for mental practice today?